Hey, you.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing wonderful. It's good to
Good.
see you.
It's good to see you too. I've been looking forward to this.
Yes, me too. So I love your intake form. So thank you for taking the time to fill that out. Um, do you want to go over your wins with me?
I don't even know where to start, Shelley. It's been, I'm eating cherries, so I may burp.
Oh, no worries.
Uh, um, I feel like I've had some good wins, right?
Yes.
I don't even remember what I told you on the intake, other than the weight stuff isn't working.
Right.
But the whole I told you about the real estate investing thing, right?
Uh-huh. Yes.
And we had a call with a guy to ask him some questions. He's the husband of my friend,
Okay.
and to ask him questions to kind of see for things, what we can expect, and just questions. And then on that was on Friday night, I think. And Saturday ended up being it's been interesting. I went out in the yard with my husband Saturday morning and worked in the yard. Now, it's been a long time since I've done that.
Uh-huh.
Yard is his thing. Not that he doesn't want me out there, but it's just kind of, yeah, I got my own stuff I'm doing in here.
Right.
And especially during the summer, he wants to get out early while it's still cool. Well, first thing in the morning, I'm in this room because this is what I do in the mornings, right? I do my stuff. And so I'm sorry, this takes precedence over that. But I was up early enough on Saturday that I got it done soon enough that I was able to go out and work with him, which was really nice. And it didn't feel like it didn't feel I felt like I was more in creative energy than I was in work energy. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You understand
Yes.
what I mean, right? Because we're looking at redoing our yard and how we want to do it. And that's been getting very exciting. And this feeling of understanding, really, when you told me that if I can get the emotion, that means more than the picture. And it's like, I can get the emotion. I can go do that. And then after going through, I guess it's module 8, where Allison talks about gratitude. And it's like, I personally, I really feel like I live in gratitude. I know, I cannot begin to tell you the miracles that I have had in my life, especially over the last 10 years. It's just been so amazing. And I'm constantly reminding myself of, remember how he did this, remember how he did that. I live in that gratitude. And because of that, I think that's why I live the life that I do.
Right.
Things are good for me. They really are. And I expect them to continue to be good for me. And I love being in this place. And it's so different from where I lived for 25 years. That it's awesome. And so I love that. I feel like, but okay, so here's the but.
Okay.
I gotta tell you the but. Yesterday morning, I woke up feeling totally and completely drained. I had slept well the night before. I thought I'd slept well. I wasn't sleepy. It was as much as everything I did required so much effort. And at first I thought, I'm just not even going to go to church. I'm going to stay home. I'm too tired. And then I thought, no. I've at least got to get in there and take the sacrament. And so I did. But then in Sunday school, and we're talking about the book of Job. I do not like the book of Job. And I just felt myself, I wasn't sitting like this, but I just felt myself like this. And usually I'm really anxious to participate and to join in the discussion. And I did a little bit, but I just found myself feeling so frustrated. And it's like, what is wrong? And I checked my energy. I checked all the things that I could check.
Mm-hmm.
Everything looked okay. Everything looked okay. And it was just a weird day. It was just a really weird day. And this morning, wasn't feeling like that. I had my energy back or my strength back, whatever it was. And I worked really hard. I focused, I meditated first. And then for my writing, I just wrote, I'm grateful for, and just list all the things to help me get into that place, right?
Yes.
So when it comes to this real estate stuff, which looks like a fantastic opportunity, will cost us $20,000 for the education, which when you look at the education that you get with this, $20,000 is nothing, nothing, right? I get that it's a really good deal. I also, and I'm not worried about having the money to pay for it, because we can take out a HELOC on our house, and it's just not a big deal.
Right.
And I'm going to be starting to teach the painting classes next month. I know, finally.
Yes.
I can hardly wait. And when I talked to my friend a couple of weeks ago, and I said, are we still on for this fall? And she says, yes, things have finally calmed down at the clinic. I'm ready to get started. I'm so excited. And so I'm thinking, okay, I know how much they have budgeted to pay me for this, and I know how many students we can have. And so I have a pretty good idea as to how much income I'm going to be able to make from this, which will be plenty to pay for the HELOC until we can get, because it takes time to get the education and then find the deals and do the real estate. It's not one of those
right.
that will make money overnight. And I get that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also something that doesn't have to take away from my painting time, which was really important to me. But I also feel like, how do I put this? I really try hard to use high vibration words, and to get out of that, out of a mind place that is negative.
Right.
But in doing that, sometimes I know it prevents me from really sharing how I'm feeling. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And I really need to share how I'm feeling.
Then share how you're feeling.
Yes. So here's the thing. My husband says, oh, this is going to be great. It's going to be a wonderful thing for us to do together. And my feeling is it's going to be one more thing for me to do and have you watch. Because that when we do things that are task related, like when we painted furniture together, awesome. He is fantastic at tasks. Working out in the yard, nobody has him beat. He is such a hard worker. He's really, really good with that stuff. But when it comes to learning and applying, he doesn't do that well. And he has, as my daughter would say, he is totally and completely disconnected from money. Anytime I've asked him to participate, and this has been years and years and years ago, to participate in, just help me pay the bills. I want you to see how much money we've got and how much money we've got going out, right?
Right.
Okay. Nothing. 1 year, one month, it was only a month. I said, I'm sick of this. I'm tired of doing this all by myself. I want you take over. He says, okay, fine, I will. Nothing got paid. So So I had to go in there and make up for what he didn't get done.
Right.
It's like he says he will. I think he really means what he says. But it's like it just flies out of his head and it's gone.
Right.
And to bring it to mind, we were having some problems at one point, and we'd been in to talk to the bishop, And I'd given up. I told the bishop, I'm so done. I am so done. I'll stay in this marriage with him, but I am not going to even try and do anything as far as a relationship with him. And the bishop says, okay, Gordon, I want you to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 simple things for you to commit to for Cosette. Will you do this? Yes. Okay. These are the 5 things. And they were simple. One of them was have a weekly date night. And will you do this and this? And yes. He asked him 3 times. Do you promise? Yes. You promise Cosette? Yes. Okay. And I'm going, it ain't going to happen. 4 weeks later, 3 or 4 weeks later, I said, do you remember? And he hadn't done any of it. I said, do you remember what you told the bishop? Yeah. I says, what was it the bishop asked you to do? And he said, and he remembered like 3 of them, which was fine. I didn't care.
Right.
And I said, have you done any of it? And he said, no. And I said, can you tell me why? I don't have an answer for that. And he really does not. It's like there's something in his brain that just doesn't connect.
Right.
And so instead of, I'm not angry about it anymore. It just is what it is, right? That's just Gordon. He's got so much good stuff over here. And sometimes this stuff bugs me. But for the most part, I really try hard to focus on he does this and he does this and he does this. He's awesome at this. He's great at this. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this. I'll be so grateful when we get to the next life and this will be taken care of, right?
Right.
And that's kind of where I am. But it also puts me in a place so that when we look at doing like the real estate, and I think, we've tried to do stuff like this before, and I know how it's all fallen onto my shoulders, all of it. And it breeds resentment. I don't like that that's what it does, but that's what it does. Right. So why would I step into a situation that I feel like is going to breed resentment in me?
Right.
Okay, so there's one thing about it. I can control that. I choose, do I choose to be resentful or am I going to choose to be grateful? Right. It's all a choice. I get that. I get that. Some choices are harder to make than others.
Right. Yeah.
Because sometimes we just delight in being angry. It just feels good to just be pissed. But then here's the other thing. And this is, and as I'm speaking it, it's like, okay, yes, I understand that you feel that way. This is spirit. I understand you feel that way, but so for all these miracles that we have had over the last 10 years-ish, which include, we're talking major miracles. I feel like I have not done one thing to bring it about. Nothing. I've just sat back. I mean, that's not true. I have been striving all that time to have a better relationship with God. That's been my goal. And he has worked incredible miracles in our lives. Incredible miracles. And it makes me feel like, okay, I keep this going. This is what I keep working on. This is why I spend 3 hours in my office every morning, right?
Right.
Because that relationship is so important to me. And am I perfect in it? No. But I try every single day to do that. By stepping into something like this real estate investing, I don't want it to be any kind of sign that I'm saying to God, thanks for all you've done. I'll take it from here. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
I truly believe I've had 2 experiences, the coming into the money from the property just most recently. I felt like that was God telling me, you can ask for a lot more than you're asking for. You know?
Yep.
I want to give you so much. Just ask.
Right.
And on one hand, that's what this real estate thing feels like. This is an opportunity for you to create an income that you never ever thought possible. And I am right there with you to do it. And then there's what we would call the terror barrier.
Yes.
And I know I'm fighting that. I know that that's there.
Okay.
So it's recognizing that and feeling secure that God is saying, honey, you can have whatever you want. This will be a great opportunity and I will be there. And in saying it out loud, and I've written it out and I've prayed about it, of course, but in saying it out loud, it's like, okay, I can get through this.
Right.
I have somebody taking me by the hand and saying, okay, this is what you do next, and this is what you do next, and this is what you do next, and this is how you're here. I can do all that stuff. I don't have a problem with doing at all.
Right.
I just want the guidance, and I want to be sure that it's smart guidance.
Right.
And as long as I know that God's with me in it, I'm good.
Right. So how do you feel about doing this real estate thing by yourself? Take Gordon out of the picture.
I know. I've trust me, I've been there.
Good.
That's a place where I go most of the time.
But when you're going there, is that resentment coming up?
Certainly not like it did before.
Okay.
Not like it has in the past. There is really, he says he really wants to do it. He says he's wanted to do a lot of stuff in the past, right?
Right.
And
what's his motivation? I'm just curious because you say he's disconnected from money. So what is his motivation? What makes him excited?
He says what gets him excited. This is Gordon normally. This is Gordon excited.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And you think this is him depressed,
right?
Excited.
Okay.
So telling excitement is really, really difficult. Gordon is really, really good at figuring out, when people ask him a question, figuring out what he thinks they want in a response, and he knows how to give it.
Okay.
I don't know that he knows himself. He says he wants to retire.
Okay.
And I get that. He's 73 years old.
Right.
But he's in better health now than most of the people that he works with that are 20 years younger than he is.
Okay.
He takes great pride in that.
Okay.
He takes great pride in the fact that he can do, because his job is physically demanding. And
right.
He takes great pride in his health and his ability to do the things that he does.
Okay.
He loves that. He likes that he is a valued employee. That means a lot to him. He likes the interaction with the people that he's got there, that he will not have if he retires.
Yeah.
He will still have yard work that he can do, but that's seasonal, right? And except for when we redo our yard, of course, I want to make enough money so that I can hire somebody and say, this is what I want, then have them come and do it.
Right.
And Gordon has said that he wants to do that too. But not that long ago, he says, I want to do the work myself. I don't want to hire somebody else to do it. I can do this.
Yeah.
So it depends on which mood you get him in. And I never know what mood I'm going to get.
Okay.
Right. Just a couple of weeks ago, it was a hard weekend. It was the weekend of the 24th, because he just seems snarky all weekend, all of his just like this. And it's like, I don't know what I've done. I don't know why you are so dismissive of me, which is not like him, but I never know what I'm going to get.
Okay.
I just don't. So even though the seizures have long since gone, there are still mood changes that I find I have to deal with occasionally. And I never know when they're going to show up, and I never know what it's going to be.
So I'm curious, do you know if was he having grand mal seizures when he had seizures?
He had all kinds of seizures.
Did he? Do you think he's maybe still having seizure activity that you can't see?
I've wondered about that. So I don't ever see him because I'm pretty well versed in what seizures look like, the spectrum of what seizures can look like, right? I don't think so, but he also used to go into psychotic breaks.
Okay.
So they didn't look like seizures. They never called them a seizure. They, depending on who he saw at whichever time, it was diagnosed as different things. He is totally, and when he's had those in the past, he's been completely disconnected from reality.
Right.
As far as thinking he knows people that he doesn't know. And it's
okay.
It's scary, scary stuff.
Yes, yes.
And they'd last for about 5 days.
Oh, wow.
And those have stopped too. But I wonder if these times when he goes into these moods, because he's still very coherent as far as where he is, who people are, all that kind of stuff, right? But it's like his mood takes a shift. And I'm wondering if that's kind of what that is.
So I had a client I used to work with years and years and years ago that he, I'm not sure the medical term, but they called them blank stare seizures.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, I mean, it was scary with him because if you were laughing and he went into if somebody says something, he goes into the seizure, he comes out of it and you're laughing, he thinks you're laughing at him, right? Oh. It would switch his mood. So, and his blank stare seizures would be so quick. Like sometimes you're like, well, wait, what just happened? And you would realize, oh, he went into a seizure. And
Gordon, that's not what's happening with Gordon.
Okay.
That's not what's happening with him at all.
Okay.
And after this many years, really, after having seizures for 20, almost 30 years, what has that done to the brain? And the medication that he takes, and he's still on meds. He will be on meds for the rest of his life.
Right.
They don't know what the medication is doing to the brain.
Right.
They think, well, it seems to stop seizures. It didn't.
Right.
But he won't go off them.
Right. Okay.
And we don't know. I don't know.
Right.
But it's having an effect. So that's a lot of the unknown that I get to deal with.
Right.
And for the most part, I've just been able to say to the Lord, you know what? I stay with him and I love him and I do the best I can. He's yours. I don't try and fix him. I don't try to change him. That's not even part of the picture, right? But it does require me to really find joy in what I do, because it can be so hard sometimes with him. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we have a few minutes left, and I want to actually change our focus, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
To the weight loss.
Okay.
Because that's your goal. I know there's some resistance there. And we could talk about Gordon and real estate, but let's talk through that in the thread. Okay. But it sounds like with that, you are doing what you need to be doing to get your answer.
Right. I am.
So with this weight loss, I absolutely love that you were honest with me and honest with yourself, that you are at that state where this just may never happen for me.
Yeah.
So, and in one aspect, like you're detached from the outcome, but you're too detached.
Yeah. The outcome. Yeah, I get it.
So what have you gone into journaling about? Like, okay, what does it look like What emotions can I connect to when I'm at 220 pounds? What things can I do that I can't do now when I'm 220 pounds? How do I feel? I don't know if you have chronic body aches or anything like that. But like, what does my cholesterol look like? What does my blood pressure look like? Have you gone into all of what it means to be 220 pounds?
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of it is not the weight. It's more my movement.
Okay.
How much I'm moving
Mm-hmm.
has more to do with my being out of shape than my weight does. Because
Right.
I can lose weight. I can get down to 150. If I don't exercise more, it's not going to help because it's not building my muscle. And that's
Right.
what really needs to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
My doctor has even told me, he says, your numbers look great.
Okay.
Those numbers look great. He says, I have nothing to tell you. I'm sorry you're having a hard time losing weight. Thanks, doc. And,
Okay.
and you know, and that's where they are. It really is the movement that is going to make the difference. And I am working on that.
Awesome. Good.
And so, and I feel this is what was interesting about Saturday in going out and working out in the yard.
Mm-hmm.
I really felt like doing it. That's really, really what I wanted to do. I wanted to be out there and move it. And when we go to grocery shopping and we're going through Sam's, it's like, I'm moving my body and I really like doing this. So that kind of stuff is showing up, right?
Good.
It's the food. It's like, I have done it so many different ways and so many different times. Yes, I found great success back in the 80s. I did, until it came right back up.
Right.
There's something about food. I don't know what it is. When I got frustrated on Friday with something, I don't remember, because I've been doing some good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I got myself, this won't make a whole lot of sense. In my painting, sometimes you put it on a spinner and spin it. And I had a jerry-rigged thing to spin, but it had legs that were way, way, way too long that needed to be cut back. So this is huge. I went out in the garage, grabbed a handsaw, just a small one, and brought it in and sawed off the legs on this spinner so it would be the size I needed it to be.
Right.
That was so huge for me.
That's awesome.
So doing stuff like that, I'm doing more. And there's that part of me that's, oh, but you want to be in feminine energy. Don't do. And it's like, no. I get incredible satisfaction from looking at at the end of my day, from looking back and going, I accomplished this and I accomplished this and I accomplished this. And I want to get back into that, because in some ways that's creation energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want that back. And part of that is moving more.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting all the time, even for the 3 hours that I sit, to whatever it ends up being. It's a while when I'm in here in the morning. I'm just anxious to get up and get moving, move my legs, do something, right? And I'm feeling far more motivated to do that. So it's like, okay, then that's where I'm going to put my focus, rather than worrying so much about, and I still eat good. I get treats, but I'm eating good.
Okay.
I'm eating healthy, and just allowing it just is going to be what it's going to be.
Right. But I want you excited. Like, I want you to connect to something that brings the goal alive to you.
I know.
And a couple of things. When you go into I can't have you ever tried saying, I'm going to replace X with Y? So like, I'm going to replace, instead of having a brownie, I'm going to replace it with a chocolate protein shake.
Yeah.
So you use that word replace, like?
No, I've tried doing that before in the past.
Okay.
And even when I look at I really want, we'll use your example of a brownie. I really want a brownie. I really want a brownie, but I've got salad in the fridge. Oh, that sounds good too. I'll have a salad instead.
Awesome.
I can do that.
Okay.
There's also I really, really want, for me, frozen custard.
I'm with you on that.
Oh, I really want some frozen custard. So I went and got me some frozen custard.
Right.
And loved every minute of it. Now it's gone.
Right.
I've also got ice cream and root beer in my fridge, and it's been there for 3 weeks, 2 weeks. I've got one full thing of root beer that's never been opened and a half a thing that's been opened that by now is flat.
Right. Right.
I don't care.
Good.
It just is. I don't care.
Right.
So it's the food thing is really, really interesting. Getting myself moving, I feel like, is really important.
Right. Right.
So I'm moving more, and I feel good about that. So,
and that moving more, I mean, honestly, will help with things starting to come off. And honestly, you'll begin, like, you're releasing so much. Have you been on the scale lately?
It's probably been a couple of weeks.
Okay. So what we track expands, right? And in this case, we obviously don't want it to expand in the way.
Right.
But you know what I mean, right? Like, so start tracking once a week. Like, I would get on every Monday morning before you eat anything, and start tracking your weight and see, like, oh, this is curious. Like, I'm up 5 pounds, or, oh, this is curious, I'm down 10 and I didn't even know it, or whatever it looks like. And use that. Oh, this is curious, because the number means nothing, right? We know that. Like, it's sometimes hard to not internalize that number, but, oh, this is curious. What did I do this week? What was working for me? What wasn't working for me? What could I have done better? Could I have had more water?
Yeah.
That's for me lately. It's water. I need more water to help my
and I understand what you're saying. I really do. There was a point where I got on the scales every day and looked forward, half inch, half pound. And I could be, and I understand I'm attaching meaning to the number. That's fine. But it gets really, really hard when the number isn't fluctuating and I'm being really, really, really good in my choices.
Yeah.
That is, and that's what I trip over.
Right.
I can track my meals and know I did this right and this right and this right and this right and this right. I didn't budge on sugar, and I was so good with all of it, and I still went up 3 pounds.
Do you find that when you're in that you're intense in that? Like, there's pressure behind, I was so good, so good, so good. You got to release
and so that's what I'm trying to do. But I understand that it's a pendulum, and I'm, that's there, that's this, and I get that. I really do get that. I haven't figured out how to be here.
Right. Remind me your health lib I don't have it off the top of my list right.
Which one? The health?
Yeah.
It is safe for me to easily and joyfully lose 50 pounds.
Okay.
Or release 50 pounds from my body.
Okay. Have you gone in, like, to a doctor or anything and talked about insulin resistance and anything like that? Okay. And
he gives me nothing.
Nothing.
His opinion at this point in time, he says, well, you could always go and have surgery. That's not a solution.
No,
it's not. And he gave me suggestions. He says, well, my wife's done this program. And I said, so have I.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So it just, and that's why I say, it's just like, you know what? I'm tired of worrying about it. I'll just
Right.
move. I will move more.
Okay.
And watch what I eat. And
how's your protein intake?
What?
Your protein intake?
You're talking to a person that mostly is vegetarian. So my protein intake is great. I get it through my fruits and vegetables.
Okay. So
I've tried the keto stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The intermittent fasting. In fact, I usually do not eat until close to noon every day.
Okay.
That just is what's comfortable for me.
Right.
And it's not unusual for me to go until 2 o'clock without eating.
Right. Okay.
I'm fine with that. I eat fruits and vegetables. We've got a lot of stuff coming from our garden. It tastes great.
Right.
That's what we do. Corn on the cob is fresh right now. We got a place up the road that sells it straight from the field, and oh my gosh,
I'm with you.
Dinner is corn on the cob and fresh green beans and fresh tomatoes out of the garden. What's not to love with that,
right? I'm so with you.
Yeah. So those are like my favorite meals.
Okay, good.
So
I do wonder if you need a little more protein. I know for my height and size, I'm supposed to be getting 140 grams while I'm trying to lose weight in order not to lose muscle mass.
Yeah.
So, and that is hard.
But Shelley, that also determines who you're listening to.
So I work with a trainer, but
yeah. But see, if I'm going to work with, because I've got this guy that I really trust, is his books. I really like what he says. And he says that high amount of protein that we're told we need to get, you don't. Okay. I trust him. I've also read other books about people that say, no, you've really got to get that protein and fat. That's the most important thing. That's the most important thing, because that's what people are saying right now.
Right.
Who the hell am I supposed to believe? So I go to God.
True.
It is true. Testing, and I have to trust that.
Yes.
When he tells me to eat meat sparingly,
right.
Okay, I'm going to go with that, and I trust that when I really feel like I want a steak, I'll get a steak, and I will have one.
Good.
And I trust my muscle testing to tell me exactly, am I getting enough calories? Am I getting enough of the stuff that I know I need to get? And if it says I am, I go with that.
Okay.
I have to trust that, because some guy in a book doesn't know my body.
Right. Absolutely. And I was going to say, like, everything is a little different for everybody. I know for me, the more protein, the better I weight loss. So I just wonder, like,
and it's always something I can try it.
Yeah.
I can go into, I don't know. I'll look at that.
In fact, I would tell you, I eat more food now losing weight than I did before when I was trying to lose weight cutting calories.
Well, and I don't believe in calories either. So that's
I know calories are definitely, they're an interesting.
Yeah. I don't believe that calories are the way we can measure what we need.
Right. Agreed.
So I will look at it more.
Okay.
And see just exactly where I need to go through muscle testing and through prayer, and really have a good conversation with God about this.
Okay. And it really sounds like movement is where you're going to find your passion, and where you're going to find that ignite button for you.
Maybe. I've not been a real mover. Thoughts of, I mean, I've got a gym I belong to. I've got the community center where I can go and walk around the track when it's too hot.
Right.
And I've got my mini trampoline. I love my mini trampoline.
Oh, good. Really I love those. Yes. Yeah. Awesome. Okay.
So I'm doing something. I'm doing something.
Okay. Well, keep me updated about what you find and what you're able to connect with, and
I will.
We can't keep digging and get you to connect into this goal.
That would be good.
Yeah.
That would be really good.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Thanks, Cosette.
Thanks, Shelley. We'll see you later.
All right.